I mean, today, just this morning, Trump posting the like video of Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys. It's sort of like they know what they're doing. Like it's sort of like I mean, he just deleted it actually, but either way, that sort of like joke, LOL, they know what they're doing in terms of getting under liberal skin, and like the liberals sort of fall right into the trap of being like that's outrageous. Like that today on Reddit on the Ventura local subreddit this guy was like, I'm sorry, but our local Republicans here in our hometown, are they going to stand behind to this? Or can we all agree that the president just posted something racist and we should all be outraged and we should all gather our conscience here? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? They love it. They voted for it. Like, this is part of like their whole, not only strategy, but desire. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and also like it's well timed because one of the things that we've been talking about on the thread that I think that the meme comes out of is that as he falls deeper and deeper into the polls, they need to keep the base kind of like happy and activated and sort of frenzied. You know, like you have to keep your base rabid. You can't just have like a dull base. You got to keep them kind of like jumpy, and you got to throw meat to them. And you know the meat they're throwing from Minneapolis to this meme is racist meat. You know,
Yeah. Right.
they're this is the appeal to like the Nazi core or the neo-Nazi core. They're trying to keep them hungry, and it's weird because they've lost almost all the Hispanics that they had brought on in 2024, that multiracial tent. They're just pounding it out, and then they've lost independence, especially on issues like ICE, where it's like 71% of independents, their first association when you say ICE is excessive force. I
Mm.
mean, that's going to damage the whole fucking ticket. And so I think it raises this like question that I've talked to my dad about recently, and that me and you kind of have been banding about on the thread and amongst ourselves, which is like, what is the strategy behind throwing the racist meat to the neo-Nazi MAGA base right now in a midterm election year, which raises all those questions around Trump saying we need to nationalize elections in like the 15 blue Democratic states, or Trump saying, we shouldn't even have elections because these people are animals. We shouldn't let them into office. We need to protect ourselves from them. And yet, if I say these things, which sound so common sense and so logical, they say I want to be a dictator. So like
Maybe I do.
yeah,
LOL. Yeah.
he's right there. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like it's like you can
Well,
argue all day long.
Bannon
Go
this
ahead.
week was like we might need ICE protecting the polls. Like might need like to use all our ICE agents to stop people from voting. And like that's just how we're gonna do it. And you're just like, dude, okay. Like yeah. There's a
And what do
contradiction.
you?
There is a contradiction there because it's like, well, maybe they don't give a shit about like the polls because they're planning something else.
So how do you? Because you mentioned last week when they raided the Georgia elections office that had been holding those 2020 ballots, and was it Tulsi Gabbard was there, like
Yeah.
representing the CIA on domestic soil, which was just kind of well, that's another story altogether. But the question I wanted to ask you was like you were saying how that raid wasn't just about like relitigating 2020, it was about the midterms. Can you like what you want to share your thoughts or
Well,
feelings on that?
that's just what I was seeing. Like people were saying this. I think it was Will Sommer, the guy that part of the QAnon documentary that we have looked to. He follows the right, and he was talking about that. He was saying like this isn't about just relitigating 2020. This is about establishing a precedent for essentially saying we can't trust these systems and therefore we can't use them again. Yeah,
Oh, so partly it's just basically saying like your ass is mine, to put it crudely. Like
yeah.
this is our territory. We have the power to do this. That's interesting. Yeah, I think that would be I would put that in the column of like this tension around the midterms and this like playfulness around the midterms. And one of my takeaways from our thread last week when all this was happening was it's impossible to really know what they're planning, in part because I don't think they know. So they want all options on the table, and
Yeah.
they need
Right.
like a cancellation option. They need a seizure option. They need an ICE option. So they're floating these realities. And then I think this is where the idea of the glitch kind of comes in again.
Yeah.
Because we were, trading stories of how the, courts and judges are saying, hey, that person that you arrested for deportation, you can't do that. You have to release him. And the ICE and administration are already saying, oh, sorry, that guy's in Mexico now. We can't find him. Like, they've already ignored court orders and sent people out of the country, and it's all illegal. And what we mean by the glitch, as we've said before, is there's not an enforcement mechanism in the courts. So like that's what Hamilton saw as like one of the tripwire weaknesses of the Constitution. So it kind of raises the overarching umbrella specter too of the midterms, which is to say, in this column, like not the deportation column and they just ignoring the court column, or any of the other potential ways that the administration was going to ignore the courts in the Roberts Court, et cetera, but in the midterm court system. So like if they do something that a federal court or even the Supreme Court says is illegal, but they don't enforce it, what's everyone going to do? And so the midterms kind of start to rise on the horizon, as this like specter